Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel shivshaktistudymine. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 7 of class 9th motion. This video is for the English medium students of ncert pattern following boards. Either it is UP board or cbse board or any other board which follows ncert pattern all over India or countries neighboring India. So please be patient and be with us to the last of the video, as if we are going to discuss some very important topics which are very essential for your home examination as well as your further examinations of one day types like SSC or any other Indian Railway banking, where the motion is taking place as a part of general science. Today we will discuss about what is the state of rest and what is the state of motion and what are the base types of motion which are very essential for the knowing, and what is distance, what is displacement, and there is a very important question about the difference between distance and displacement. Today we will discuss about these in detail and with very short and tempered manner. For that you have to be with us to the last of the video so you can understand all these definitions. So let's begin the topic. First we will discuss about what is the state of rest. An object is said to be in the state of rest if it does not change its position with respect to time and its surroundings. Meaning, if we are in a rest position, or our bike or car or any other vehicle which is not in start position, which is not traveling any distance at any time or any moment, it is known as the state of rest. The examples are parked car and lying person are some examples of state of rest. Means how much of pressure, how much of energy you waste, but they don't change their position with respect to their surrounding or with time time interval which is given, then that particular object is said to be at the rest position. Clear? Now we will talk about the state of motion, or what is the definition of motion. An object is said to be in the state of motion if it changes its position with respect to the time and its surrounding. Examples are moving cycles and walking people. If an object is moving at the given time interval or a short time span from its initial position to another position, it is said to be in the state of motion. When the object is not moving, it is at the same place where it is situated, it doesn't show any movement at all, either a span of time or plenty of time. It is said to be in the state of rest. Am I clear? If you have any doubt, you can raise it in our comment box. Now let's discuss about the types of motion which are important. Types of motion. There are many types of motion in the scenario, but we will discuss about the main types of motions which are very important. First one is circulatory motion. Circulatory or circular motion. Circulatory or circular motion. An object is said to be in an object is said to be in circular motion when it is covering or traveling a circular path. Best example is movement of planets in their orbits. What is circulatory motion? It is an object is said to be in circular motion or in circulatory motion when it is covering or traveling into a circular path. For example, movement of planets in their respective orbits. Either it is Sun, either it is Earth or Mars or Jupiter or Neptune, Venus, any of the planets which are moving in their orbit. It is said to be in circular or circulatory motion. This is one example of circulatory or circular motion. Am I clear? Let's discuss about the other types of motions. Next type is linear motion. When an object is traveling through a straight line path straight line path it is said to be in linear motion. Linear motion. For example, we can say that moving of a ball along the ground. What is linear motion? When an object traveling through a straight line when an object is traveling through a straight line path, it is said to be in linear motion. For example, moving of a ball along the ground. If we throw a ball on the ground, it will take a path like this. This straight line path is known as linear motion. When a ball is traveling through this path, it is said to be linear motion. Clear? Now let's discuss about other type. Next type is rotatory motion. When an object is moving along a fixed point, it is said to be in rotary motion. For example, Ferris wheel Ferris wheel and motion of earth on its axis on its axis. What is rotary motion? When an object is moving along a fixed point. For example, Ferris wheel and motion of earth on its axis. It is said to be the rotary motion. Clear? Next one is oscillatory motion. Next one is oscillatory motion. oscillatory motion. It is a type of motion which involves motion which involves swinging from left to right. It is similar to the simple harmonic motion. Means when the example of oscillatory motion is motion of pendulum. Motion of pendulum. This is a pendulum. It rotates from here to here and here to here, from left to right. When we carry this pendulum towards this side and release it, it travels from this from left to its initial position for a fraction of second, and then it goes further to the right side and it moves vice versa like this. This type of movement is known as oscillatory motion, or we can also say it as the simple harmonic motion. Clear? Now let's talk about the next type of motion, which is rolling motion. Next type is rolling motion. What is rolling motion? When an object is moving, when an object is moving without contact with surface, without contact with surface, is said to be in rolling motion. Rolling motion. Examples are motion of car wheels, motion of car wheels. What is rolling motion? When an object is moving without contact with the surface, it is said to be in rolling motion. With surface without sliding. Sorry, without sliding. When an object is moving without contact with surface, without sliding, it is known as rolling motion. For example, motion of car wheels. Clear? These are some important types of motion which are very important for your to know it very well. Now we will discuss about what is distance and what is displacement in motion and what are the uses and what are the differences between the displacement and distance. The difference between distance and displacement is a very important question which occurs every time in your examination, either it is half yearly or final examinations of the class 9th. First we will discuss about distance, and after that we will discuss about displacement, and in the last we will discuss about the differences between distance and displacement. What is distance? The actual path or length traveled by length traveled by an object. The actual path or length traveled by an object from its initial position to final position is known as distance. It is a scalar quantity. Distance is a scalar quantity. Scalar quantity, which means it only needs magnitude. No direction to represent itself. For example, Ramesh traveled 65 kilometers. What is distance? Distance is the actual path or length which an object traveled from its starting point to the end point. It is a scalar quantity, means distance doesn't follow the direction. Distance can be either any of side, any distance can be either side of the object is in its initial position or starting point. It can travel any side if it is not mentioned, and direction only needs magnitude, means it has only the quantity, not the direction. For example, Ramesh traveled 65 kilometers. It can be either any direction. Ramesh is free to go any direction 65 kilometers because he only travels distance. Because of that reason, distance is said to be a scalar quantity. This is the place where Ramesh is standing. It is his initial position. He started traveling. He goes like this and reaches here. This is the final point or end point where he has to be traveled. This whole path from here to this, any direction, any way which he takes to travel from here to here, the total path with which he has covered is said to be the distance from this particular point to this point. This is said to be initial point and this is said to be final point, or you can say it is starting point, it is the end point Ramesh traveled. This distance is 65 kilometers. This length is 65 kilometers and it is measured throughout the direction which he has traveled. We will not skip the length which he has traveled. All the length should be calculated. All the distance should be calculated. And his path which he undergoes on his journey will be calculated from first point or initial point to the end point or final position. Clear? This is the distance of any object. Clear? If you have any doubt, you can raise it in comment box. Now let's discuss about displacement. What is displacement? Minimum distance between initial position and final position of an object. position of an object. It is a vector quantity. Vector quantity which means it needs both magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction to represent it. For example, Ramesh traveled 65 kilometers to east from his home. You can say this is Ramesh's home. He travels 65 kilometers towards east, and this is its final position. He travels 65 kilometers. This is the starting point of Ramesh. This is Ramesh's house, and he travels 65 kilometers this side, and he takes this direction. If he is taking this direction, this is said to be the path he traveled, the maximum distance he traveled. It is said to be the distance, but it is saying that he is traveling 65 kilometers towards north, east side of his home. Means he is traveling on a straight path. This will be the minimum distance between the initial position and final position of Ramesh traveling. This is his house, and this is the place he has to go. In between, he travels 65 kilometers towards the direction of east side from his home. When the direction is mentioned with respect to the magnitude, it is said to be displacement. Clear? Now let's discuss about the difference between distance and displacement, which is a very important question. Distance is the length of actual path traveled by an object, whereas the displacement is the shortest length between initial and final position of an object. Another one, the difference is distance is a scalar quantity. On the other hand, displacement is a vector quantity. Distance has only magnitude to show. On the other hand, displacement has both magnitude and distance direction to show. Next difference is distance remains positive. It can't be 0 or negative. On the other hand, displacement can be positive, negative, or sometimes it becomes 0. When we are traveling in a circular path, then the displacement should be 0. Distance can be equal to displacement. When an object is traveling in linear path, the displacement and distance of that object from its initial point to the final point or starting point to end point is equal. But when we talk about displacement, it can be equal to or less than the distance of the object from its initial point to the final point. When it is traveling in the linear path, the distance and displacements are equal. When it is not traveling in the linear path, in all the other types of path or motion, when the object is traveling, the distance is always ahead of displacement, means displacement will always be less than distance. These are the some important differences between distance and displacement. I hope I am clear with the topic now. This was the video and topic we have covered in our first part of chapter 7, motion of class 9th. Hope you have enjoyed all the video, and for being with us, thank you. For Hindi medium students, the first part of the video will be releasing soon. So be patient, and for that period, thank you very much for watching our video. If you are new with us and not subscribed our channel, please do subscribe our channel and share with your friends who are in need of these type of videos. It will help them boost their knowledge. For boosting of your knowledge, we are using the language which you can understand very clearly and very patiently. Otherwise, we can also use the intellectual language, means the language which English is in the scenario today. For your betterment and your understanding, we are using this language of English speaking. क्लियर? अगर आपको हमारी बातें समझ में आ रही हो, हमारा वीडियो अच्छा लग रहा हो और आप अभी तक आपने हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है, तो प्लीज 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 सब्सक्राइब करिए, अपने सभी साथियों के साथ शेयर करिए और ज्यादा से ज्यादा मात्रा हमारे चैनल को लाइक करिए, वीडियोस को पूरा वॉच करिए। जितना आप वीडियोस को वॉच करेंगे उतना यूट्यूब हमारे चैनल को प्रमोट करेगा और आपके साथियों के लिए अच्छे और उपयोगी कंटेंट्स आपको सजेस्ट करेगा। साथ ही साथ हम इससे भी बढ़िया और भी शानदार जानदार तरीके से कंटेंट्स आपके लिए लाते रहेंगे। अपने जो भी सुझाव है आप हमारे कमेंट बॉक्स में साझा कर सकते हैं, हम उस पर पूरा अमल करने का प्रयास करेंगे। हिंदी मीडियम के स्टूडेंट्स के लिए वीडियो जल्द ही अपलोड होने जा रहा है, इसलिए परेशान ना हो और वीडियो को ज्यादा से ज्यादा मात्रा में शेयर करें। इसी के साथ हमारा प्रयास आपकी सफलता। धन्यवाद।